welcome back to another reaction. My name is Chris. For those of you who don't know, the last video I enjoyed, it was my first video, so today is going to be my second video with the view. So a little bit about the first video I did. I'm sorry for not speaking up. Like I said, I'm just learning this. That was literally my first video, so just bear with me, but I'm getting used to the mic, so hopefully you guys can hear me better now. I am soft-spoken, so my boyfriend says something about it all the time, so I'm gonna try to speak up to the best of my ability and get used to the mic. So just be kind, and thank you for all the comments and suggestions and everything. But yeah, so let's get into the video.
On the planet jammed into Studio 8H in 30 Rock on Sunday night for the SNL 50 Live celebration. Iconic cast members and guest hosts took to the stage for some classic sketches like Black Jeopardy.
Speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No,
oh, no.
Like that.
Oh, no, it's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome at Black Jeopardy anytime.
All right. Well, thank you, my brother. Maybe I'll start a show for you to come on, and we'll call it White Jeopardy.
No, we don't need it.
Now, some conservative viewers were not laughing at that part. They thought, I guess they thought this was new. There was a new addition, but this is a callback. He's been on several times in this character.
But the fact remains that they're making anyone who voted for Trump look like a racist, and that's why they're mad.
Well, my biggest issue with
and I personally would never do that, because I don't believe that any group is one thing. A lot of these people, in my opinion, have been misled. They thought that grocery prices would come down. They're up. They thought inflation was coming down. It's up. They thought that Medicaid was safe. It's not. They thought Social Security was safe. It's not. So it's not only racism that caused Trump to be in office.
He hasn't even been in office that long, and like I said before, like he's already making changes. But like I said, he can't do everything overnight. So he hasn't even been in office long for her. So for her to say that is a little bit like steep, but you can tell that she's angry. So like I said, Biden, he's been, how long did he serve? Come on now. And what did he do? We don't even know. Can't even say three things. Can't even say it.
To remember that. So of course they're going to be insulted. We were insulted by Bill O'Reilly when he had a broad stroke on Muslims in the same way. It's the same thing. And if they can do it to them, they can do it to us.
I have a different take, though. I have a different take on that. Just because, as Whippy said, Tom Hanks joined the sketch, bringing back the character of Doug, because the first Doug was in a 2016 sketch, and in fact that was the most popular installment of Black Jeopardy, was with Doug as the Trump supporter in 2016. I think it's a very subversive sketch. In fact, it's about Black culture being American culture, and so when you have the regular Jeopardy, you know, it's basically the White Jeopardy that already exists, because I've been on it and lost.
How is she going to say it's basically the White Jeopardy? Jeopardy is Jeopardy. Just like back in the day, it was Jeopardy. There is no White Jeopardy, Black Jeopardy, Asian Jeopardy. She's the part of the problem. She's making everything about race. Like everything today is literally about race. Like it's always about race. So it's like, you can't even put it into it because people like her. Like this whole thing. Can't even put it into it because she's a part of the problem. Sorry guys, the mouse is losing me.
So this you know, in 2018 you had Chadwick Boseman on, and the fact that he refused to shake the host's hand, that has happened before. Do you remember when the senator refused, the senator's husband that was being
refused to shake Kamala.
That one sworn in, he refused to shake her hand. So I felt that it was very subversive. I felt that it was a sort of a callback to that.
Can I just do a less profound thing? If you watch the sketch, Eddie Murphy did Tracy Morgan better than Tracy Morgan. Just Tracy Morgan. That was all in that sketch. And my problem with it was when it went from that pinnacle of hilarity when I was rolling on the ground, it was just the Tom Hanks part died a little. So it was more like as a high critic of comedy and a consumer, I was like, oh, end with Eddie Murphy. Like it was so brilliant.
See, I loved the ending with Tom Hanks. So it appealed to us in different ways.
I thought we were talking about our favorite moments from SNL 50. I did not prepare properly for this.
That was my favorite moment.
Okay. The skit was a callback. I remembered the original. I thought the original was funnier, just to be honest, but I personally think the outrage over it is a little overblown. I would like to play my favorite clip, though, from the entirety of the SNL weekend that we had. Clip.
What do you think is the biggest obstacle facing young comedians today?
The same obstacle that's been facing comedians forever, being funny. You know, sometimes you're funny and sometimes you're not.
That's right. To me a dozen times because it's like being funny. It was just perfect. I had so much fun watching. I watched it in the millennial chaotic way of watching clips and not watching it in linear fashion. But from Tina Fey and Amy Poehler doing the Q&A to some of just the classic roles reprised, I feel like this was the comedy we needed. But then also the in memoriam of the sketches that just did not age well was perfect.
Yeah. Well, just to continue on my point.
Back.
Because I do believe that politics is a big part of Saturday Night Live for the past 50 years.
Absolutely.
And when it's done correctly, it's very effective. For instance, Steve Martin's monologue was very effective.
It was very effective.
I was actually vacationing on a friend's boat down in the Gulf of Steve Martin, he said. That makes the point that Trump wants to change names just because he's the president. He can do whatever he wants. You know, he said, well, that was not so interesting. And then he had Martin Short come in, who's a Canadian, and then ICE arrested him.
Yeah.
I mean, those are political points that don't insult individual people.
And they're subversive.
They're subversive.
You know, look, the show has always done exactly what they've.
You can tell she's just so like angry about like everything, and of course she had to add in Trump and about what he's doing.
Wanted to do the way they wanted to do it, and it was no different this time, and it was good fun. SNL 50 also took the time to own up to some sketches that did not stand the test of time. Take a look.
We must also take a moment to honor those who we've lost. I'm speaking, of course, about SNL characters and sketches that have aged horribly.
Won't you tell me my business? I don't want to.
NAFTA helps us both. It will give me a job. Your job.
Jane, you ignorant slut. Rat trash. Jungle bunny. Hunky. Hunky. Dead hunky.
And when you look back at some of the sketches, you realize that you've lived through all these changes in our times. Because there were times you could get away with saying stuff that you really can't say now. And there were times when people said, you know what, let's not do this, let's do that. And people said, well, that's all right, too. It's like what you're talking about, you know, what do you think? When you, well, none of, except you and I can really have this
We remember it. We're old.
Well, the one
None of you.
But you keep
some of the
saying
clips
that comedy is under attack and that you can't do some of the things that
To
you
some
used to be able
extent.
to do.
That's what we just said.
To some extent, it's under attack very much. They call it wokeism, you know, and people turn and use that against the Democrats, which is one of the reasons.
But that's not comedy. That's politics.
Yeah, but people do get upset when you, like in the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's is a perfect example of this, if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Mickey Rooney plays a Japanese in such an offensive way that people who are Japanese and other people are insulted by it.
Well, white people were insulted by it because they said, we don't know when we know looks or sounds like this.
Yeah.
And once white people say, wait a minute, then.
But I feel like back in the day, like it was just like, it was funny or whatever, like they made it funny. But now it's like, I mean, you can't do anything. Like, everything is just a problem, and everybody's trying to make everyone divided. Like, especially with the whole racism thing, like, we can't all just come together as one, like, at all. Everyone wants to make everything about race. And like I said, they're making everything about race. And like I said, they're a part of the problem. Sorry guys, this mouse is like weird.
You know someone's paying attention. That's why it's so annoying, I'm sorry, when people talk about wokeism. Because, you know, for years, women decided, I don't like how you talk about us. And so we got out and we did something about it. That was wokeism at its time. People didn't want us doing that. When we said, hey, we got to put more people of color, more folks who are different into colleges. They said, well, we don't want that either.
Yeah.
That was considered wokeism. So it's all of these things that seem to benefit other people seem to be problematic because you're woke. Well, most of us, most women have never been asleep because we know what we're fighting.
Well,
most people, men, yes.
Don't you think? What I think that could have been.
So honestly, this is my second video with The View, and I feel like everything angers them. Like, literally everything angers them. Like, it's about the Trump, about what he's doing, about the race. My thing with the race is, it's just, we can't put an end to the racism because, again, like I said, people like them, they're trying to separate everybody, make it something that it's not. It's literally come together in one. There's no black Jeopardy, white Jeopardy. It's just Jeopardy. Like, there's no, like, everybody should just be able to come together and as one. No race, no anything. Like, and just live life. And I feel like the whole thing about Trump is he hasn't even been in office that long, and I don't know her name, but yeah, I'm gonna learn names, but I don't know her name. But when she said that about Trump, it's just like I said, I can't even name 4 things that Biden has did, and he was in the office. Like, and Trump is already changing things. It's not gonna happen overnight. So yeah, but I feel like The View is just very angry, and I'm learning that. So yeah, but make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down other videos that you guys would like to see from me, and any other videos you'd like to see in general. But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe.